In this video, I want to share with you a few techniques and tips on how to increase your reply rates through cold emailing by personalizing your opening line of the email. This is a technique that really worked very well for me when I was cold emailing for a client of mine, and we were emailing some of the major US and Canadian retailers. And so these were, very, very busy people. They receive a lot of emails every single day from different companies wanting to put their products into the retailers. And so through some study into cold emailing courses, I really began to understand the importance of personalizing the opening email lines. Because if you don't do this, as I'm sure you've experienced yourself, if you receive a cold email from someone and it doesn't have any personalization to it, you can just see straight away this is the same email that someone has sent out to, a huge number of people, and people get turned off by that. Most likely they're going to hit you as spam, and that's going to drop your domain reputation. And so all of the rest of your emails, or not all the rest of them, but a lot of them are going to start to go towards spam because of your domain reputation. So you want to make sure that when you are sending an email to someone, you're sending it to the right person that you believe is the one that you need to speak with. Sometimes it won't be, but that's totally fine. But most importantly, if you're personalizing the opening email line, then you're far more likely to get their attention, to read the rest of the email. And if they are the right person, to get a response from them. And if they're not the right person, then at least they have the likelihood of forwarding you to the right person or connecting you with the right person. Why? Because you've put in the time and effort to connect with them on a personal level. They want to make sure that they return the favor somewhat by connecting you with the right person. Okay, so just wanted to mention that to give some context, first of all, to the importance of personalizing your opening lines if you are sending them out to land new clients. So with that said, let's jump in. I've created this spreadsheet here, this Google spreadsheet. I'll put this link below this video so you can just open this spreadsheet and then download a copy of it for yourself, or save a copy of it to your Google Drive. I think all you got to do is just go across to File, make a copy, and then you can save it to your own Google Drive. And then you can play around with the templates that you have here. So the structure for the opening email lines, did have a structure because what I was doing was copying and pasting the first part of the email, the opening line, I should say, here, just because I realized that this was working for me. I didn't have to type it every single time. Okay, I just copy and paste some of these variants here for the first part of the email opening line, specific to the thing that I was talking about. Okay, so you'll see what I mean in a second when I look at some of these profiles. Okay, so the first part of the opening line could be, I came across your LinkedIn profile and enjoyed reading through your impressive history. Okay, that could be the same for pretty much everyone. Okay, assuming of course they have a lot of information on LinkedIn. If they don't have any information on LinkedIn, then you need to find another alternative, which I'll talk about because there are some other alternatives that you can go down. So another variant to that, found your profile on LinkedIn recently and enjoyed reading through your diverse background. Okay, different way to say basically the same thing. Okay, now this part here, dash especially, this is where you really need to drill down into the personalization aspect, because this especially is like you're highlighting something that's really important that you found on their profile. Okay, and this is where, I can't stress this enough, this is where the difference maker really is. Okay, this is what will set you apart from all the other people out there who are cold emailing for prospecting, and this is what will really increase your reply rates. Okay, so the third part of the opening line is congratulations on, and it could be something like congratulations on 10 years with the company, or your 10-year anniversary, or 15 years, or something like that. Congratulations on helping the company to go to 100 million plus or something. Look, this part here is, I'll put this in here, optional. Right? I like to put it in if it's mostly to do with the amount of time they've been in the company, just because there are sometimes you see that people have been there for 10 years and they may not have even known that they've been at the company for 10 years. And when you point it out and say, congratulations on 10 years with the company, or your 10-year anniversary of the company, you'd be surprised how much of an effect that can have, because you could remind them of a 10-year anniversary that they may have even forgotten about, or that at least no one else in their company had known about except for you. Okay, so that can really, capture someone's attention and be like, wow, this person really took notice. Okay, so this part here is optional, but I like to put it in, right? So with that said, you'll see here that there are some other different examples that you can do. Been following your career since da da da. Of course, if it's true, a huge fan of your something. I've been a huge fan of your work for a while now. If you have been following a company for a while now, like something like VShred or one of the other bigger companies, um, Agora Financial or Alternative News Daily or something like that. If you have actually been following their company for a while, then say it. Okay. If you haven't been, that's okay. There are other alternatives. Just finished reading your something something article on LinkedIn and really enjoyed the content, especially. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we'll go through some of the examples, but these are just some ideas, some templates, if you will, for how you can put these together for yourself. All right, so let's look first of all, CEO of LinkedIn. Okay, Ryan Roslansky. One thing to notice, of course, is that being the CEO of LinkedIn, he's got a lot of content on here. He's got a lot of followers, a lot of connections, etc. So, what does that mean? If you were emailing someone who is the CEO of a big company, chances are they're going to be receiving a lot of these personalized cold emails. Okay, not just cold emails, but personalized cold emails. Okay, from people who have actually understood the importance of that. So, the personalization, in my opinion, needs to scale up. Okay, it needs to really drill right down into something that is noticeable, that shows that you've done your homework. So an example of this would be seeing here on day one as CEO some thoughts on the future of LinkedIn. So I can guarantee you this is an article that is something that's important to Ryan that he put together. All right, so you could open this up and scroll through and find something here that's interesting. Okay, that you can reach out to him about, or not reach out to him about, but actually mention in this. So let me try and find something. Now, obviously, we've all got a lot of things that we need to do. So, time is of the essence. You don't have to go through reading every single article on someone's profile to find something and feel that you have to read the whole thing, okay, in order to be, say, congruent. If you feel more comfortable, you don't have to say just finished reading, okay? You could say something like just read through your article on LinkedIn about your first day as CEO and really enjoyed the content. Especially, and then let's find something. I think I was looking at this before just for the sake of time. World. Yeah, just here. All right, so you can see here one of the world's greatest innovation engines playing a meaningful, positive role in every corner of the world. Okay, Microsoft ecosystem. As we build the next generation of LinkedIn, we have the distinct advantage of being a part of the Microsoft ecosystem, one of the world's greatest innovation engines playing a meaningful, positive role in every corner of the world. Okay, so you could take something like this, especially your thoughts on Microsoft becoming one of the world's greatest innovation engines. You could leave it at that. It's probably a little bit long. You could cut it to something like that. All right. So just read through your article on LinkedIn about your first day as CEO and really enjoy the content, especially your thoughts on Microsoft becoming one of the world's greatest innovation engines in every corner of the world. All right. So in this situation, you probably would need to say something like you could say congratulations on your recent transition into CEO if you wanted to. I think he's had 11 years, so you could say congratulations on 11 years at the company. You could say something like that, but again, it's optional. It depends on what you want to do. As I said, higher up you go, the more personalized you want to get it. These sorts of things can help you without going overboard and just sort of feeling false and not incongruent. And you'll know that, okay? You'll know it. You'll feel it. So that's first example of one of these first lines. Next one could be someone like Jeff Weiner. I think you get the point in regards to the articles and how you could point out articles. You could also find something around, talk about his journey. Funnily enough, he's been there about the exact same time as Ryan. You could mention something like this: over 11 year tenure as CEO, LinkedIn grew its membership base from 33 million to more than 690 million. One thing to point out, when you are looking at LinkedIn profiles, pay attention to numbers. When you see things like numbers or statistics, for example, like you could see numbers like this or statistics or whatever, pay close attention to those because they're normally the results of the person that they've achieved. And these are really important to them. If someone's grown a membership base from 33 million to more than 690 million, that's something you want to talk about. If they've increased profit margins by 2, 3, 4%, that's something that you want to be talking about. If it's grown the revenue from 78 million to 7.9 billion, that's something that you want to pay attention to. So anytime you see numbers, just go straight for those, and they're really the things that you want to pay the closest attention to. So you could just copy and paste that across. So another example, I came across your LinkedIn profile and enjoyed reading through your impressive history, especially growing the membership base from 33 million to more than 690 million. Congratulations on such a successful time as CEO. Okay, and you could go and all the best with your new role. So I came across your LinkedIn profile and enjoyed reading through your impressive history, especially growing the membership base from 33 million to more than 690 million. Congratulations on such a successful time as CEO and all the best with your new role. Okay, and there you go. There's your personalized opening line. Now, yes, it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of practice, but you can see there, once you get a bit of a handle on things, you can do these very, very quickly, especially if you've got these templates already here. You just copy and paste all of these and you just keep going over them. Don't change the actual template. Just make sure you've always got some copied and pasted here, and then you just take that, or you keep these here, and then just copy and paste one, and then just use it for the next, and then just write from here. Okay, that way you've always got the ideas and the structure in mind, so you can just fill in the blanks. All right. So that being said, let's look at a profile that doesn't have as much content on it. Okay, so we've got our friend CS here from the group, and you can see here CSS 13 connections and not very much content. All right, and this is just the way that it's going to be. Some people choose not to put very much content on the LinkedIn profiles. Now, you can really do one of two things. You can stretch it and find something to talk about on CS's profile, or you could talk about something about the company. So, for example, TS is the creative director of Superbubble. So you could go to the website of Superbubble, and because he's a creative director, he's going to have an influence on creativity. So you could say something like, just had a look through your website. I've been a fan of your work for a while now. If you are a fan of the company, you'd say something like that, or you just had a read through the homepage of your website and love the work you're doing, especially the vibrant use of colors. Get my American spelling there. Yeah, and engaging content, especially the vibrant use of colors and engaging content. Nice work. Okay, just something simple like that. All right. So then another example we have would be John, who's another member of the group as well. So John does have 500 plus connections, does have a bit more content on here. You can look through and see his profile here is actually, it's got a bit more humor to it. Okay, direct marketing specialist with a demonstrated history of working in blah, 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 boring, zoning out already, you should be, etc., etc. So you can see he's got a little bit more humor. So you could point that out. Say, loved reading through your profile, really humorous description, etc., etc. You could look through and see, all right, he's got some testimonials on here. You could talk about the testimonials, what someone actually said about John in his testimonial. That shows that you went really deep. You could also talk about something from his history. You see here, constructed a 75-foot, 25-meter sailing catamaran for a private Swiss client. You could even talk about something like that. Came across your LinkedIn profile and enjoyed reading through your impressive history, especially how you constructed 25-meter sailing catamaran. Very interesting, something like that. Very interesting. You could also say something like, I'm a huge fan of sailing. If you are a fan of sailing, that's something you want to put in there because it's finding some common ground, okay? And that'll really capture the attention of the person on the receiving end because they're like, wow, this person actually shares a common interest, and it just immediately just builds some rapport. And rapport is one of those things that, you know, in person you can build rapport, but online via email it's more challenging to build that. So any way you can build a personal connection with someone that feels genuine and authentic, that's something you really want to go for. Okay, so yeah, as I said, you're very interesting. I'm a huge fan of sailing. You know, traveled around YZ place or something like that. All right, do you get the idea? So there's some examples of profiles that have a lot of information versus profiles that don't have as much information. How you can be creative and find different alternatives. And the other is if you're really stuck on something and you're not really sure, or you can't find much information about the person on a personal level, then you can start to go to the company. And how you would do that is you would go to something like Google News here, type the company into the Google News section. Okay, so I think, for example, you were going with Anik and Learn. You could see here, Learn receives 2020 Best of Gatesburg Award, Virtual Summit, etc. So there's some news in here from not that long ago, 1 week ago, 6 days ago. So there you go. You've got some talking points there in Google News. Okay, so that's definitely an alternative, or you can go straight to the website or blog of a company. So you can see here, VShred, I've got a blog with a lot of content. Okay, so you could talk about something they've recently done, 4th of July tips and recipes, save hundreds of calories. Okay, so again, it's got to be specific to the person. All right, you wouldn't be reaching out to Vince directly to talk about a blog that he may not have even written himself, probably didn't write himself. Okay, you want to be trying to get the content and what you're talking about as specific to the person as you can, if you don't have that information from something like their LinkedIn profile. So they are some alternatives for you there. And as I said, you've got this email opening lines templates here. So you can just go through and copy and paste and adjust these for yourself. But just to sort of reiterate what I was saying before about the structure, is this part tends to stay the same. This part is where you get really specific in here, and then the third part is an optional close to the opening line, something around how much time they've been at the company, etc., or congratulations on a specific achievement. All right, but it's totally optional. And that is it. You can make a copy, as I said, of the spreadsheet. If you have any questions on this, feel free to put them in the comments below. I know this video went for a little bit longer than I'd anticipated, but I hope you really got some value from this. Just remember, when you start to personalize your email opening lines, then I guarantee you will start to see some amazing results, because you'll have gone the distance to make a connection with someone. They'll know that, and they'll be far more likely to actually continue reading your value proposition, reply to that email, or at the very least, connect you with the right person who can help you to get the answer that you want. Okay, and this really worked for me when I was emailing some of the biggest retailers in the world, as I said before, even all the way up to Walmart. Okay, we got one of the top VPs of merchandising in Walmart to respond and set up a call for to discuss my client's brand with them. Okay, so it definitely does work. And speaking to a group of copywriters, I'm sure that your value propositions are going to be very well written. So once you do this the right way with the opening email lines, I'm sure you're going to get some fantastic results. So any comments, questions, leave them below, and look forward to answering those for you. And again, hope you enjoyed this video and got some value from it. Cheers.